I audited over 100 e-commerce websites last month. These are the 10 most common SEO mistakes that every website is still making. Between my SEO agency and coaching a data mentor, I audit and speak with over 100 websites, every single one. From 6-figure brands trying SEO for the very first time to 8 and even 9-figure brands that want to dominate Google and ChatGPT. I have seen it all. That is 1,200 websites each year. And like I said, these are the 10 most common mistakes I see e-commerce brands of all sizes make when it comes to their SEO. First, they think their SEO is something that they need to quote unquote fix. All right. They've been sold the same lie that agencies and freelancers have been peddling for years that they're using to rob brands completely blind of SEO budget. They say technical SEO is the foundation. You can't do anything else until your website is fixed. Okay. That pulls brands into 60, 90-day, 120-day contracts where they're doing technical SEO that is just simply not moving the needle. Okay. And they don't know any better because they never understood the technical SEO in the first place, right? I would tell you right now, for 99% of brands, technical SEO is not what's holding you back. Of the 100 brands I audit each month, I would say maybe 2 or 3 of them have a technical issue holding them back from growth. Over the summer, I've spoken with probably 300-400 brands, some of them multiple times. I can, on one hand, recall the amount of technical issues holding a brand back. Quite frankly, I think it's actually 3. One was a cannibalization issue, and one was a headless Shopify issue. Okay. The others, not technically rated, all content and all link building related. Okay. So, is technical SEO critical to your growth? 100%. Absolutely. No one is doubting that. Is it what's actually holding you back right now? No. Most brands who are trying SEO for the first time, they think their SEO is broken. Very, very commonly when I speak with brands who have never done it, they're like, yeah, we've never really done SEO. There's probably a lot of things that are broken that need to get fixed first. And like, it's just simply not true, right? Unless you just have like the worst site hygiene of all time, you haven't broken your site for SEO. There's a lot of other things you can do that will actually help grow it that I would not really consider them. I would not consider those things to be a fix, so to speak. Okay. You think it's a problem you have to fix? Maybe that's partially true in some cases, but I think that's a terrible way of looking at it, right? You wouldn't say your Google ads are broken or your Meta ads are broken or your emails are broken, right? You look at them as growth channels. You should do the exact same thing with SEO if you seriously want to grow. Number 2, acting like it's still 2021. Okay, SEO in 2021 was stupid easy. Okay, it was anyone can get results. You just built how to go through blogs. You built internal links and backlinks. You optimize product and category pages. You repeat it. Okay, the SEO playbook for 2025 and 2026 a little more complex than that. A few more moving parts. Build internal links and backlinks. Optimize product category pages. That's not new. More middle of funnel and bottom of funnel blog content, get branded mentions on Reddit, and optimize content for LLMs. Okay. The easiest SEO strategy in the world is to just write blogs and say a prayer that customers find your products through those blogs. Okay. This barely worked in 2021, and it definitely doesn't work in 2025. Brands waste money on cheap agencies and freelancers to write blogs and say they're doing SEO. Okay. You think because you're writing blogs, you have officially like ticked your SEO box. As I said, it's not something that's broken. It is a growth channel like any other channel you have, okay? If you are spending a couple $100 a month on blog writing and you're not really seeing a move, you're just burning money, quite frankly. You need to upgrade your strategy or you will simply get left behind and continue burning that cash for as long as you decide to spend it, okay? Number 3, thinking too small. Without fail, brands throw all of their products into a shop all collection or into a bunch of vague categories and collections. Okay, the shop all is the least effective SEO page on earth. Okay, as far as when it comes to e-commerce. In fact, we almost always no index shop all pages so that it doesn't cannibalize against the homepage. Okay, this is a lazy and ineffective way of building out a website. Okay, you need to think more granularly about your products. As an example, I've used this one plenty of times on this channel before because I work with brands like this. You don't just sell compression socks. You sell compression socks for men and for women. You need a collection for each. Flying, travel, running, working out, wide and plus size calves, swelling, plantar fasciitis. You also sell them by color, by other use cases, right? Every single use case you have needs to be a new collection or a new category, right? That is how you fan out and rank for more keywords, okay? Every single one of these use cases and keywords deserves its own collection, okay? By doing this, you're going to, like I said, you're going to fan out for more queries and you're going to put your products in front of more potential customers that are ready to buy products for their specific needs, okay? Shop all collections convert terribly, okay? men's compression socks converts better. Men's compression socks for flying converts even better, okay? You have to think granularly, okay? Now, this does not just benefit your SEO, okay? I'm not just talking about SEO at this point. If you have collections and category pages like this, you can use them for ads, for email, for SMS. All these kinds of channels are going to benefit as a result of having these more granular landing pages, right? You can work on customer segmentation, and you can deliver category pages, like URLs/landing pages, to the customers that need a specific problem solved at a specific time, okay? These pages benefit way more than just SEO. Next up, number 4, viewing SEO as a checklist. Everyone on earth in SEO has sold or given away or bought or done something. They would come across an SEO checklist at some point or another, myself included. I have paid for them. I have given them away. I have sold them. I've done it all, okay? They're a great lead magnet. Transparently, that is why I've used them and or purchased or engaged with one, okay? They are not an SEO strategy by any means, okay? You don't simply like finish SEO once you finish the checklist, right? Like it's the same thing. Like your SEO is not broken and it's never finished, okay? That would be the same as never checking your meta ads again after setting them up the first time, okay? You clearly wouldn't do that unless you have no interest in making money. We don't use any checklists in our agency. They have no use to us because we build strategies that evolve over time with brands, with search engines, and with niches, okay? We are always hunting for more keywords to target. We are looking for more keywords we can rank higher, more links to build, more competitor gaps to close, all of these kinds of things. Checklists imply an ending of some sort. SEO is not going to end, just like you wouldn't stop spending money on ads, sending emails, or trying to acquire your next customer, okay? As I've tried to hit home on a few of these points already, SEO is a growth engine just like any other channel. Number 5, overspending on backlinks. I've actually mentioned this on this channel before, and Twitter and LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff. High DR, PR style backlinks, I believe, are a waste of money for, I would say, 99% of e-commerce brands. If you're a 9 or 10 figure brand, totally fine. You've got the capital to spend $5,000 to $6,000 a month on PR links, and quite frankly, you probably need them. You're doing PR. Your PR strategy evolves well beyond just the SEO component of it, right? You're looking at brand image, reputation management, all that kind of stuff. You have the capital and the need to spend that kind of money. 6, 7, 8 figure brand, honestly, I think you're better off with niche relevant links that cost a couple $100s a piece, $200 to $400 on the high end. You can get them. You can get good ones even for, $150 depending on your niche. Okay, they are absolutely less glamorous than a link from Forbes or The Sun or MSN or Yahoo, whatever. Right. However, they are considerably cheaper and more effective when you actually build them properly. Okay. Every dollar you spend in the 6 to 8 figure annual revenue range as an e-commerce brand needs to move the needle for your e-commerce brand. I believe that these niche relevant links move the needle more than high DR PR links just because they're cool. Okay. I've talked to a ton of brands that have spent all this kind of money that are like 6, 7 figure brands that have spent like tens of thousands of dollars on PR links, and they don't have any rankings, traffic, or extra revenue to show for it. Okay. We only build a handful of links each month, but a handful of links each month for our clients, between like 5 and 10, 5 and 15, depending on kind of the game plan. All of the links cost between $200 and $400. Okay, we don't spend more than that, and we get really good results for our clients. Okay, without the need for high DR kind of PR flashy links. Number 6, the opposite: underspending on backlinks. You, without a doubt, no questions asked, will need backlinks to rank for more competitive keywords. There's no way around it. Okay, you cannot topical authority your way around it. You cannot build internal links around it. All of those things will get you closer. But if you want to rank number 1, like, you've got to spend the money on links, especially for high competition keywords. Okay, I like to pay for them because it's quick and efficient. I would tell you what doesn't work is trying to earn them forever. This is not scalable. It is literally begging people to link to you. Most people don't like begging. I definitely don't want to beg for a link. Okay. Also, not paying for backlinks out of fear of penalties does not work either. I've been paying for links for the last 5 years. Currently spend about $40,000 a month each on backlinks, or each month on backlinks, across all of our clients and other projects. 0 penalties in 5 years. Okay. Here is a great, perfect example of underspending on backlinks. Okay. I had a 60-minute paid consultation with a furniture brand. It was about 4 months ago now. They wanted to outrank Wayfair, an SEO giant by, I would say, all accounts. Okay. One of the best sites I've ever seen in terms of how they build out categories and they fan out and rank for all these kinds of queries. Okay. and they're a behemoth. I don't know what their revenue is, but I'm sure it's in the 10 to 11 figure range. Anyways, after the paid consult, these were the rough action steps I gave them. Okay, there's a lot more granular than this, but this is what I'm going to tell you. Optimize existing products and collections, categories in their page, or in their case. Create long tail categories and add content to them. Build internal links between these similar categories, and build backlinks to your homepage of target categories. What they did, they simply skipped steps 1 through 3. They built 5 total backlinks for a total of $800. So they just went straight to step 4 here. They emailed me 3 months later, so last month, and they said it didn't work out and they wanted a refund on a 1-hour consult. Okay. I didn't give it to them because they skipped steps 1 through 3 and had the audacity to believe that just because they spent $800 on links, they thought they could outrank Wayfair. They honestly thought their website was a better site than Wayfair. I can tell you Wayfair spends, I think it's probably over $100,000 a month on backlinks, quite frankly. They are, like I said, an SEO behemoth. Even so, $800 to think you'll outrank a brand like Wayfair that is, I don't know, 100 times your size, is simply naive. You're not going to beat Wayfair with a shoestring budget. If you want to rank for competitive keywords, you have to spend the money to make it happen. No shortcuts. Okay. Number 7, trying SEO out. SEO is a compounding growth channel. Okay, the more you do over time, the bigger and better your results will become. Want to try it out for 1-2 months? It's a waste of your money, quite frankly. And if you're going to work with us, it's a waste of our time and your time. I would say conservatively, you should invest a minimum of 4 to 6 months into SEO before you write it off. Now, if you work with a good team, agency, freelancer, in-house, whatever, in 4 to 6 months, like if you're seeing results, you're not going to write it off, right? You wouldn't stop something because it's working ever, right? Now, you want to do it for 1-2 months, see if it works. I genuinely believe you should spend your money elsewhere. Paid ads, inventory, a new hire, I don't care. Just spend it elsewhere. You're probably going to thank yourself in 90 days if you're not prepared to go the distance with SEO. Here's a real example from over the summer, if you think you'll be any different, okay? Brand A, which is a previous client of ours, will remain unnamed here. It's for the last 4 years doing SEO, mostly writing affiliate blogs, paying for links. They'd actually had some pretty good success with the affiliate stuff. They had some okay rankings, but after the last 3 core updates this year, and also removing 10 of their highest traffic pages because they didn't fit their ICP anymore, their traffic dropped by over 6% in 60 days, roughly 60 days. They came to us and they wanted it fixed in 60 days. I didn't ask enough questions in discovery. And quite frankly, like as an agency and myself, quite frankly, we're left holding the bag after we couldn't correct course in those 60 days, okay? I shouldn't have taken them on in the first place. I definitely believed I could fix the recovery. I didn't believe I could do it in 60 days. I should have been a little more clear on timelines. And quite frankly, I think they should have spent their money elsewhere or been willing to go more than 2 months. Lesson learned on my end. I hope it's the same for them, quite frankly. Number 8, SEO is not a silver bullet. If your product doesn't work on paid search, it's not going to magically work on organic search, okay? Now, I say paid search because this doesn't include Meta, okay? I know products all the time that work on Meta, but I shouldn't say all the time. Paid ads on Meta work fundamentally differently than paid search on Google Ads, right? But in both cases on Google, whether it's organic or paid, people are typing in a set of keywords and they're looking to buy a product. So you can't get paid search to work. Organic search isn't going to work. But if you can't get meta ads to work, that doesn't necessarily mean organic search isn't going to work for you, okay? In any case, SEO is not a silver bullet. It is a supplementary channel in your entire marketing stack. It is not the end-all, be-all of growth for you. Here's another example where a brand expected to be their silver bullet, and again, I did poor discovery. Another lesson learned, quite frankly. Beauty brand overinvested their cash in SEO, and so they pulled spend in other areas so that they could afford it. This included pulling spend on paid ads, influencer marketing, email, and all their channels, okay? Business slowed down because they stopped momentum in all these other areas to just do SEO, to focus on SEO. They completely stopped posting on their organic socials for the last 6 months, just like, quite frankly, coasting, okay? A mistake on both ends. I should better in discovery to make sure they weren't stretching their finances to work with us. I don't think they should have stretched it, quite frankly. And 2, they definitely shouldn't have pulled back momentum on every other channel, right? SEO can be great. There are some brands we work with where it is doing upwards of 40 to 50% of all of their revenue comes from organic search. Most brands are not like that. If you take momentum out of these other channels and rely fully on SEO, 1, the pressure mounts, but 2, You're hurting yourself quite frankly by pulling momentum elsewhere. So SEO is something you add in and keep doing everything at the same pace. It's not like something you don't add in SEO and pull back 10% everywhere else. You're going to fail. I guarantee it. That client churn, of course, I genuinely wonder what the future of their business is going to hold. If you stop posting on organic socials, kind of feels like it's just at some point going to end, right? Anyway, number 9, pivoting solely to GEO. People are still searching for and buying products on Google. Okay, nothing has changed there. This is a post by Rand Fishkin, one of the most famous SEOs that I'm aware of, quite frankly. 20% of Americans use AI tools over 10 times a month, myself included. If you watch this, I bet you use it more than 10 times as well. But growth is slowing, and traditional search hasn't actually dipped. Okay. Basically, like organic search is, people are using ChatGPT also, but they're also using Google. Okay. Organic search growth isn't slowing. Okay. It is expanding the way people search. Personally, and I would imagine most people do this, if I have long questions, top of funnel informational types of things, I'm going to ChatGPT where I prefer a summarized response to my question as opposed to having to read through an entire article. Right? As an example, this is a study from SEMrush. Before using ChatGPT, people were searching on Google 10.5 times a week on average. After ChatGPT, 10.5 times. Okay, or 12.5 times. Excuse me. Right. So organic search sessions are actually going up, which is basically a sign that SEO is not dying. It's just evolving. Okay. There's always going to be search as long as there's search engines and now LLM platforms. Okay. Here's a real example of a brand pivoting way too early on GEO. I grew them from 12K to over 100K a month in SEO revenue in a year and a half. It's probably one of our best case studies at our agency. They were incredibly disrespectful to our team, especially in the final months. And so I let them go for that reason. They pivoted solely to GEO or whatever you want to call it, AEO, I don't care. I checked their metrics a few weeks ago rather, just out of curiosity, after they went all in on GEO. 50% declines in non-branded transactional traffic. So 50% declines in product page and category page traffic since we fired them and they moved only to GEO. 762 money page keywords lost / no longer ranked in the top 3. So 762 product page and category page rankings that no longer exist in the top 3, which is really the only rankings you make money in anymore. And they no longer rank at number 1 for the top 3 keywords. We got the number 1 for all of them. They're not even on page 1 anymore. Okay. I took a look at the site. They pulled like all of the content we've written, fully rewritten for GEO, so to speak. To be fair, I don't know their percentages. I don't know how they're performing in terms of like AI share of voice, things like that. But I do know their organic search is pretty much dead in the water as it stands. So yes, GEO is coming. It's already here. We are making strides to, improve. Reddit mentions, listicles, brand mentions, all that kind of stuff, right? But all that stuff goes alongside your SEO strategy. It is not a replacement, okay? People are still using Google. It is still a multi-trillion-dollar company. It is not going anywhere anytime soon, okay? And last up, number 10, not building enough internal links. Internal links are cheat code, quite frankly. For every 4 to 5 internal links that you build, that is the rough equivalent to 1 backlink from a similar sized traffic and DR site as you, okay? Example, you're a DR30 site that gets 10,000 visits each month organically. Every 4 to 5 internal links you build to a page would be the rough equivalent to 1 singular backlink from also a DR30 site and roughly 10K monthly traffic, okay? Now, 4 to 5 internal links, you got to take a few minutes to do. They're going to cost $0. 1 backlink from a site of that size, probably going to be around $200 and take you a few days to get it, okay? And you also have to go find the contact information from that site. So it could be longer. Publisher got it back to you. I mean, backlinks can take anywhere from a few hours to build to a few days, okay? But either way, it's $200 versus free. One's faster, one's not. You can get yourself into the top 3 to 5 spots for a lot of keywords with internal links. Backlinks are going to take you the rest of the way to the top spot. If you've got a keyword that's like, a couple 100,000 searches a month or even like 50, 60,000 searches a month and you want to rank number 1, like you can't just build only internal links and expect to rank number 1. It's not going to work, right? Because like internal links, while they do work, but while the 4 to 5 internal links can replicate a single DR link, like you may need a DR 40, 50, 60 link to rank in the top spot because other brands have it. So it's not a perfect replacement, but it will get you like 80% of the way there, okay? More times than not, the brands I speak with, data mentor, prospects, clients of ours, They think they need to start building backlinks in dozens of pages when they haven't actually even fully tapped out their internal linking. It is usually one of the best and most efficient levers to pull when we start working on the brand to get them results, or if I'm consulting for a brand, what I recommend they do. Number 10, build more internal links, okay? Now, if you're still making these mistakes and you're an e-com brand doing $75,000 a month or more, and you want to grow your SEO on autopilot, book a discovery call with me using a link below and section.